Hello and welcome to Authentic Traveling Podcast. I am your host, Abiosonia Ebenezer Marion. I am an investor in positive transformation through counseling, life coaching, speaking, and also writing books. Have you read my book yet? Inner Harmony, Resilience Beyond Chronic Stress and Burnout. This book is available on Amazon and also on my website, www.asebconsultancy.com. On this podcast, we talk about our mental health, emotional well-being, and also our holistic well-being in order for us to thrive authentically. This is a safe space for you to speak about soulful truth and talk about the things that will help you to come back to yourself and regain your self-awareness. Welcome to the Authentic Podcast once again. On this episode, I'm going to be speaking to a wonderful and a delightful young lady. Can you introduce yourself to our audience, please?
Hi, I'm Ayo Ebenezer Bonifayem, and I'm the daughter of Abia Sonia.
Okay, right. So she brought to my attention a very, very interesting topic. Welcome to Authentic Traveling Podcast. Can you just tell us the the topic you brought to my attention? I find it really interesting.
African trauma syndrome.
African trauma syndrome. And when I did a bit of research about it, I found out that although it is not a proven theory yet, what that means is that there is no published paper about it. However, within their generation, it's a topic that is being thrown around recently. And I know that very soon, when someone lay their hands on it and they're able to collate evidence and do thorough research on it, probably someone is going to publish it very soon. So why don't we talk about it? So to you, what would you say trauma is?
I would say trauma is an overwhelming feeling due to a stressful event that happened to the person.
Right, okay. Right, okay. I took my time to also find what it means, as in the general term. They said trauma is a mental health condition as a result of events that is stressful, like she said. It overwhelms your ability to process the thing emotionally. So that's what it says. So it's very, very similar to what you said. So what is now the African syndrome? African trauma syndrome. What is the difference between a normal trauma and an African child trauma? Because when I did some research about what an African trauma syndrome is, I said it's a term that is used to describe the unique psychological, emotional, and social forms of trauma commonly experienced by children and teenagers across different African cultures and society. These traumas are shaped by cultural expectations, political instability, intergenerational trauma, and rigid social norms. So there is a slight difference there because our culture goes into it, but other trauma too, culture goes into it. So how come you guys have decided to coin this the African trauma syndrome? Can you give me an example of what teenagers like yourself call African trauma syndrome? Hey, I'm very fascinated by
You
it.
can think of many. So it's like, for example, when it's something that all African children can agree on that's happened to them. Like it's not an original experience. It's
Okay.
something that they've all happened to them once in a lifetime. Like one thing that everyone knows is if they say, "Oh, bring something for me," you bring it and you say, "Where should I put it?" They say, "Put it on my head," and you want to put it on their head, but you can't put it on their head because they'll slap you, or you'll get in trouble with them.
So that's traumatic.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
is
because
what is traumatic about that? I want to
no,
know.
because mostly it happens when you were young. Like for example, like you're 5 or 6, and then you bring something for them. They say, and then you ask where you should put it, and they say put it on their head, and you go to put it on their head, and you get in trouble for just doing like they said you should do. You didn't know it was like a rhetorical question. It was being sarcastic.
So when I put it on the head, there's a repercussion from it.
Yeah,
And that repercussion is what you guys find to be traumatic.
yeah.
Right, parents, I hope you are taking notes. Stop traumatizing your children. It's not fun. It's not making me laugh. Stop traumatizing your children. Don't, I'm so guilty of that. I remember I did that. I was like, put it on my head. And I remember one of your siblings was actually bringing it to my head. And then she told her, hey, you don't like yourself at all. And she's like, but mommy said I should put it on her head. I said, are you really want to put it on her head? Do you not understand? I said, what do you mean? He said, will you move away from there right now? And I started laughing because you, at least, you were there to rescue her and to pre-warn her that do not. Unfortunately, there was no one to pre-warn you, my dear. You learned the hard way. Okay, what can you share more experiences that you guys think is an African trauma
Well, I
syndrome?
was saying through experiences when they tell you to look for something and you can't find it.
Mm.
And then when they go to look for it and they say, if I find if I see it and I find it there, then it all of a sudden appears out of nowhere and they just find it, even though it was never there when I checked.
How is that a
And
traumatic
I checked
experience?
multiple times and it's just not there.
Is that a traumatic
Like,
experience?
okay, for example, if you say, "Oh, go and look for my yellow bag,"
Yes.
and then you mistook the color, and I was looking for a yellow bag, but the color of the bag's actually brown. So then
Right.
I'm looking for a yellow bag, then you go there and find it, and then you just see it, and then it's
Oh, I see. So what I see there is that confusion that you end up experiencing, it can be very traumatic and scary for you
yes,
because you don't know the emotional repercussion or the adverse that would then proceed from that. Is that what you're
yeah,
saying? All right. Okay. So it's like we parents, we need to be very, very clear about what we are looking for, what you want it to look for. So clarity will help to stop these traumatic experiences. Is that what you're saying?
yes, because as well, it can also build trust issues, and I have
Oh,
another example for that.
please
So an example for
enlighten
this
me.
is if you just got in trouble.
Yes,
And you, okay, for example, I'm washing the dishes and I've just broken a plate. And
yes.
then my mum's at the door and she'll be like, okay, just pass this door. I won't slap you. I won't beat you. And she'll walk you past. And you see, you're feeling, you're getting slapped on the back after they just said they won't do anything to you.
So, I don't know what to say. So, you say it bring up trust issues.
Yeah, because you're hesitant to like trust other people and say if they're going to do something, they're actually going to do it or not.
This is very serious. We need to stop laughing. We need to make this very serious. So, you need to stop instilling in your children um trust issues. As in, if you say you're not going to do something, as in, just tell me the truth. So another one that I know that my parents used to do is just tell the truth. If you tell the truth, you're not going to be in
Yes,
trouble.
that's
You're
true.
not going to be in
That's
trouble.
true.
And you're like, yes, I am the one that broke your favorite plates. And then you see the rains of things that will be on you. You're like, but you said, what if I said? And so what if I said it? So you are lying. So if I didn't say that, you wouldn't have told the truth. So it's like they are not kind of boxing you into a corner, still trying to make you feel wrong. So what I got from that is we need to ensure that if we say we're not going to do something, we should actually stick to it and don't do it exactly the way we have promised. So we shouldn't break our promises. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Is there any other emotional trauma syndrome examples that you feel with parents we need to learn? Because you're standing on behalf of your generation to enlighten us so that this mistake can be stopped. Because seriously, we do not want to intentionally traumatize you people because you know we love and we care for you people. So is there any other example that
Um,
you can think about? Because from my research, I found one. They call it parentification. Parentification, being forced to take care of your younger siblings
yes,
or the household because you are the oldest. So in this aspect, it's always the older ones that get the brunt of this.
hmm
How true is this?
So I'm the oldest out of three of us. I have two younger siblings, and I would just say that all the times I'm in the house, if even if I'm not in the house, my name's getting called.
How did you know your name
My
is getting
name
called when you're
my
not?
name gets called 24/7. Even when I'm on my bed sleeping, my name will be called to go and do something for my sister. Um, like for example, if my sister needs cereal, Fermi will be free. She'll be there doing nothing. I'll be there do okay, I'll be like, for example, do my work. I'll be the one getting called to do Aoife's food. And I was trying to say that Fermi's there too. She's also old enough to do stuff. And
She does the
I
stuff.
feel like there is, but like for example, if something happens or if something breaks, I'll be the first person to get called. Or for example, if so what everyone's getting told off, I'll be the one to get called. My name will be the one to get called. So I feel like the older the older siblings aren't like they're not the cause of everything. They don't need to be at your beck and call. So it's like I'm the second parent to them.
Right. Okay. Okay. So you feel it seems like you feel like your generation feel like the responsibility that is being thrust on you is too much.
Yeah,
So you are still a child.
yeah,
Even though you have siblings, allow me to be a child. I don't have to do everything for my siblings.
yeah. Because I'm a child raising a child, basically.
A child raising a child.
Yeah.
So you're just saying that your parents should be the ones to do everything. But isn't that
No, I
helping
mean,
out?
no, not do everything. Like, I mean, I'll do some things,
Yeah.
but it's just like,
The
um,
frequency.
yeah, yeah.
So the frequency should be moderate.
It should be
Should
like
not be
equally
excessive.
balanced with my other siblings too.
Right. But don't you think that because you are, I'm not giving an excuse, but I'm just thinking that some people out there might think, oh, but you're older, so the older you are, the more responsibility that you are entrusted with. But it's like people don't see it like that.
I mean, sometimes, like for example, my mom said that once I start driving, I'm doing the pickup from schools, and
You're
and
dropping me
I've
off
only
like that.
like a year left, so God knows how it's gonna go with my school.
No, no, no. It's when you're coming back from school now, then you just you're coming back from college. You just go and pick them up. Why are you laughing? So that's part of the practice. We are learning, we are learning. So we should do everything in moderation. Go and pick your children by yourself. Do most of the things by yourself or your children, and do not expect the older ones to do the work. But they can help out, but not like being called at every opportunity. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yes.
Okay, fantastic. Hello there. I just want to ask you a favor to subscribe, like, and share to your friends, your neighbor, your colleagues, your family, your friends, and everybody that you know. I'm really working hard to ensure that I bring useful and valuable information that will help you with your mental and emotional well-being so that you begin to thrive authentically. You know, a lot of us will feel we have to wait until something happens before we become reactive. But with this podcast, I am trying to give you information that will make you proactive so you don't even have anything to react to in the end because you are looking after yourself properly. So, what are you waiting for? If you have been listening, please like, share, comment on anything that resonates with you. This will help to drive our visibility. And also, if there is any other topic that we have discussed that has been a trigger or that you feel you need support with, please visit www.asebconsultancy.com. There is a 15 minutes free consultation link that you can click on right there and book to speak to one of our counselors. Thank you so much for helping to drive visibility to this platform. And also, if you have been listening on Apple, Spotify, Audible, and every other um, podcast platform there, please follow us and keep sharing. Thank you so much. Back to the program now. Learning. Right. What about because they also mentioned from my research, they also mentioned the academic expectations as well, whereby you don't do so well or maybe and when I mean you don't do so well, maybe you scored 98% and then someone will like, what happened to the other 2%? The other person that got 100%, do they have two head? To us, that was our parents told us that was not like traumatic, but it just seems like everything now is like trauma. Don't you think that word is being overused? In that case, what do you think?
Okay, like for example, say in high school, once you got to like year 10 and 11, it was like GCSE times. So like when we had to do mocks, like most of the times, when we're doing mocks and we're getting our results back, I would see my results were better than like the highest in the class. And then I was if I was to bring it to my mum or dad, they would say, well, they would say you can do better than that. And I mean, I know I can do better than that, but at least I know what my teachers would say it was the highest, and I would like take it as like a well done, as in like I felt quite smart. But then once they say that, oh, you can do better than that, or next time try and get this grade instead of saying well done, um, kind of makes me feel like I'm just not doing as much as I can.
Okay, so do you guys find it very demoralizing?
Yeah.
So what is a better way that we can present that? Because every parent want their child to do better. So
Well,
what is the best way that we can do that?
I mean, you can say well done, or, like just congratulate them on the thing, on the score they got
Hmm.
before saying that, or you can like challenge them like next time, try and get this. Like my dad used to do when I was in like year 3 in primary school. I used to do times tables and I used to get like 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. And then my dad started challenging me to learn all the timetables. I like a little poster in my room and I would have like all the timetables up to 12 and
Hmm.
I still remember all of them and I memorized all of them. I started getting 10 out of 10 and not 10 out of 10 all the time.
Yeah.
And then my dad was like really happy with that. And it also made me happy too because I was doing like a little challenge. Well, I saw it as a challenge when I was younger and I was beating that challenge, so I was happy.
So from a supportive way, not from a judgmental way,
Yeah.
that is better. And also to acknowledge your efforts before any further feedback.
Hmm.
That's what I'm hearing you say. Okay. Okay. In some of the discussion and some of the things while I was doing my research, I found another thing to be traumatic that things are not always the way it seems in the house. So sometimes a child might be like, oh, the sun is really, really hot, really hot. I want to go into the freezer and just have some ice cream. Let me scoop it into my cup. I'm just going to enjoy this ice cream. But from my research, and the child said it got into the freezer. It opened the freezer, not got into the freezer. Opened the freezer, and then it brought the ice cream out with its plates and everything. And then when it opened it, lo and behold, it was a bowl of stew. Very yummy African stew. And then he said he found it very traumatic. So that's another important about that trust issue that the more you look, the less you see. Things are not always the way it seems in an African home. How true is that? Do you
That's
find
very, very true.
ah
The first time I saw a tub of ice cream in the freezer, I was so happy. You understand? Like, for example, if you, the first time you've seen ice cream balls full of ice cream, nothing else inside, like party food, it's just happy. You're feeling happy.
I don't understand. I don't understand. They said recycle, reuse.
Yeah, but
We're trying to reuse. What's wrong with that?
yeah, but that's just tricking the child, especially from a young. That can cause trauma. Like, have you not seen those videos where they get a tub of ice cream out the freezer and then they have to film it, show that there's ice cream inside and not stew inside, and they're so happy tears was rolling down this guy's eye because he saw ice cream inside the tub and not stew.
So he was crying as a result of shock,
Yes, he was
tears of
happy.
joy.
Yes, tears of joy.
Right. So it's like you're trying to say that if you go to a Western home, the bowl is labeled as, that's exactly what you
Don't get your
find
hopes up.
inside.
Don't get your
No,
hopes
in
up.
a Western home, that's what you find. But in an African home, it's not always the case, right?
Yeah, just don't get your hopes up.
How is that emotionally
Just keep your
triggering?
expectations as normal. Like, don't be surprised if you're finding rice in there or fried rice.
Okay. The last but not the least question is in some of the research that I made, they said sometimes when you are working with an African parent or maybe you go for a celebration and you just see they'll tell you to be greeting everybody, greeting everybody, greeting everybody. And then is that traumatic? I really don't understand what you guys are
If
just
I'm
throwing around as
greeting people that I've never met, well, I've never met before, and they'll be saying, "Oh, I changed your nappies when you were a baby. Oh, I washed you when you were a baby. I came to your foot." I'm not meant to remember that. I'm just not going to remember that. So I don't know why I have to say hi to them, and I'll just stand there, and I'm like, "Oh, do you remember me?" I'm like, "No."
No, the thing is, it's not even that part. They always say it's traumatizing them. The fact that the people take offense that, you did not remember me. And then your parents say, what's wrong with you? Why did you not say you remember them?
Because
That's the part they find really.
if I don't remember them, I'm not going to remember them. I'm sorry, I can't greet someone I don't know. I mean, I'll say good afternoon, Auntie. That's all.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna go to someone like hug them.
All right. I do understand that if you don't, of course, you're a child, you would remember because as a child, if you don't see the person very often, then you will not be able to remember the person as you are older. So for adults out there, if you say hello to a child, don't force them to remember you. Parents, don't force your children to remember the adults. because they might not recognize them genuinely, and it's not a sign of disrespect. It is not a sign of disrespect at all. They are being honest. So it's almost as if you feel our generation don't appreciate your honesty. They find your honesty sometimes a bit disrespectful, and you don't mean it like that. It's just being honest and being authentic. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I think the last one I'm going to ask is what I just remembered. You told me sometimes when you're coming from college, there are people you call uncles. They want to, you don't know the child before, and they start forming conversation. Do you find that triggering? Do you find that like emotionally upsetting? Like, because if you don't want to disrespect them, how do you find that people that you don't know from Adam, but just because they are the same skin color as you, they, what do you think about that?
Well,
Is
I
that talking to
mean,
you?
it's like they treat every black person as one big family. I would see it as because even if you're like on the bus in a public setting, they'll want to talk to you. Or for example, I was in the bus one time and an uncle started speaking to me and he asked what college I went to. I mean I was coming from that college, so and I had my lanyard on, so I told him. And then he asked what I was studying, so I told him. And then he asked which uni do I want to go to. So he started getting quite deep. And then he started asking about my parents. And I thought he knew my parents because my mum knows everyone around Bolton, surprisingly.
Oh,
And uh,
how did that
it
make you
went on
feel?
for too
Like,
long.
how did that make you feel?
Uh, I mean,
So why did you not just shut it down? Why did you not just shut the conversation down?
because I would feel bad and I didn't I don't know if it's seen as like disrespecting.
You see, these are the things that we're saying. So if we don't set a boundary, because next time you could just tell the person, um, I think the questions you're asking are a bit personal. I don't really know you, so I don't feel I should talk about all this, answer all these questions if you don't mind. I'd rather not answer them anymore. You could just say that if you're not comfortable in answering that. Because even though, why do you use the word uncle? For the right context, this person is not related to myself or my husband. This generation, anybody that is black, whether a black man or black woman, they call them
Aunties and
auntie and
uncles,
uncle
exactly.
because they see that if they call them by their name, or ask them their name, they find it disrespectful. So they just call everybody uncle, auntie, and that is not even related to them. That in itself, sometimes the lines can be blurred because then you feel obliged to want to answer this question because some of them can be very intrusive. So if you're out there, a child that you don't really know, I know it takes a village to raise a child, but if you don't know the parents, they are not under any obligation to answer your questions. You've already said hello, hi, that's enough. You don't need to start going into the history of the person, which college are you going to, what course do you want to study, do you do this, do you do that? It's just a little bit. I wouldn't do that to another person's child. So in this generation, sometimes it's as if I would take advantage. We want to dig into things that are not supposed to dig. We shouldn't be doing that, and I don't think that's appropriate. If you know the parents of the child, then you can do that. Then it's more comfortable, isn't that right?
Yeah.
But if you don't know the person, is very how will I say it? It's very intrusive to be asking those the questions. You don't know the father, you don't know the mother, you don't even know this child. You don't converse with people that you don't know. And next time, maybe perhaps just stand up and change seats. I just said, I'm
I
really
was sat next to
sorry.
the window. He gave me that look.
Oh, so you were sitting inside. So you're trapped.
I actually even saw him again. Like after
Ah,
it happened, and he said hi, so I had to greet him.
did you walk fast as much as your leg could
I got into
carry?
my bus.
Where did you go? Did you go upstairs?
Yeah, I did.
On the up deck?
Yes.
Oh, this is very funny. Right. Thank you so much, Ayo, for enlightening us on what you guys are seeing as being traumatic.
You know.
But don't you think in your own time you guys are making everything you're trivializing trauma now because trauma is quite a serious condition. But I do understand that when all these things get out of hand, it can bring you overwhelmed. But don't you think you guys' emotional resilience need to be built up as well?
No, I would say there's certain levels of trauma. I would say our trauma, African parent trauma syndrome,
Yeah.
is like here,
Yeah.
and then like normal trauma for like here.
There.
I would say
Okay.
it's like yeah, there's like a big gap,
There's a big
but it's
gap.
only because I would say like these things leave you scarred as well. But it doesn't leave you like leave you with like having panic attacks or something
Mm-hmm.
like that. But it's just like the fact that, for example, if you're Yoruba, you have to, I don't know if it's other tribes, but if you're Yoruba, you have to give things to your elder with your right hand.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just stuck with me. If even if my teachers, I give it everything with my right hand, I don't do my left hand because I see it as rude.
Mm. That's is a cultural respect. So it's good. So what I'm taking away from this is that whatever we are doing, we should do it in moderation. We should avoid things that will make you guys to have trust issues. And also, we should acknowledge every effort that you're making and then support from, excuse me, from a place of how will I say now, from a place of empowerment, not from a place of devaluing the person, what they've done, and trivializing it as if the child just went to school and did not learn anything, but genuinely acknowledge their strengths and then be there to support them with the necessary tools. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
That trauma, that trauma will be helped, right? That trauma
Mm.
will be eradicated. And the other things that we need to do to ensure that we don't traumatize you guys anymore. Because we love you guys, we don't want to traumatize our teenagers. Is there any other thing we need to do?
Having see-through bowls for your stew in your rice. So it's not ice cream, not ice cream bowls.
See-through bowls, eh? So I'll be able to tell, is this a
Yeah.
goosey? Is this
Yeah.
rice? Is this whatever? You'll be able to just tell straight away. And ice cream bowls, what shall we do with it? It's a recycle.
Just get rid of it.
Get rid
Just
of it.
like put it in the recycling bin
Oh,
once the ice
okay.
cream's finished.
All right. Thank you so much, Ayo. On this podcast, we always ask our guests one question. What do you do to authentically thrive always?
One thing I do to authentically try.
Yeah, what are the things, the self-care things that you do?
Oh, I always say I go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
I also work with children at my job,
Mm,
so that helps me as well. I also learn how to manage my school life and my personal life as well.
okay. So that help you as well.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. Any final word you want to say to any parent out there?
Um, not really, no.
Oh,
Actually, yes. Um, I would just like to say that
just say it.
uh,
Don't worry, just say it. What is it?
I would like to say
Why are you
that
hesitating?
when you see children and you think you know, well, just because they're black, please don't speak to them. I mean, if they have like their headphones in or their earphones, like I mean, you can greet them, you can ask them questions like how to get somewhere like that. But if it gets like conversation where you're asking what college and what uni courses they want to start, I would just advise not to do that, please. It's just uncomfortable.
Okay, noted. Only speak to those that you know their
Yes,
parents
exactly.
and you know them. All right, okay. Thank you, Ayo. This has been Authentic Thriving Podcast. And I'm your host, Abia Sonia. Thank you so much for joining us and where we have been discussing about African trauma syndrome. I've learned a lot. Thank you very much, Ayo, for enlightening us and for bringing this to my attention. Until I come your way again, take care and God bless.